Now turn right onto Day at Mill Road.
Yeah.
Well, I see what it's going to do.
Yeah.
I see what it's going to do. It's going to run into potholes, I'll tell you
In
that.
500 feet, turn right to stay on Day at Mill
Oops.
Road.
Oops.
Oh,
Otto, what are you doing?
oh, you fucked up again.
In about a half an hour, I'm going to be boarding a flight from Newark, New Jersey down to Orlando, Florida. I'll be picking up a 2025 Tesla Model Y there, driving it from Orlando back to Chester, New Jersey, where I live, completely on FSD. At least that's the plan. There's a story to this though. It's not my new Tesla Model Y that we're picking up. A friend of mine who happens to be 83 years old, he's an ex-military and retired New York City firefighter, decided that he wanted to get a Tesla Model Y specifically for the full self-driving features. Now, Disch, as we call him, his name is Richard Dischinger, but Disch is his nickname, is a perfectly capable driver. But as he's getting older now, he thought it would be nice to have an advanced driver assist system to maybe scoot him around town while he supervises, obviously. And he's heard good things about the Tesla full self-driving, so he thought it would be a good idea to get one. With the federal tax credit expiring, he thought there'd be no time like the present to order one and pick it up before the September 30th deadline. So he did just that. Actually, I helped him with that because the ordering process seemed to be a little cumbersome for Disch. Everything doing it on the smartphone. It might seem easy to people that are tech savvy, but if you're an older person, ordering a Tesla through the app isn't always the easiest, especially when you're trying to add in the first responder discount and when you're putting in your zip code that's not in the state you're in. And that's because Disch's primary residence is in Florida. He also has a home here in New Jersey. He lives in Florida like 7 or 8 months out of the year. He comes up to New Jersey during the warm summer months. And he's here now. He's not going to go back down to Florida till November sometime. And if this was any other car company, you could purchase a car in New Jersey and transfer your Florida license plates. He has disabled Florida license plates. You could do that at the dealership would allow you. Tesla will not allow it. And I didn't believe that was true. I spoke with somebody on Tesla. We even went to one of the Tesla service centers here in New Jersey, the Totowa Center, the new center, spoke to the associate. He said they're not allowed to do it. I asked to speak to his manager. Yes, I was a bit of a Karen. And manager said, no, you can't do that. We are not allowed to sell transfer out-of-state plates. You have to pick up the vehicle in Florida. Okay, so we ordered it with the plan of picking it up in Florida and then immediately driving it back to New Jersey, which is what's going to happen tomorrow. I was able to squeeze in 2 days. I have a super busy schedule right now this time of year in September and the beginning of October, but I was able to get these 2 days carved out of my schedule where I could fly down at Disch's expense. Well, obviously, I told him, you pay for the ticket, I'll drive you back to New Jersey. He's never driven a Tesla. He's never driven an electric car, certainly never driven anything as advanced as Tesla's FSD system. So he wouldn't be comfortable driving the vehicle back. So I said, I'll drive it back the whole way. You pay for the flight and hotel room because I'm not doing it all in one drive. We'll drive maybe halfway and then the next day finish it. So that's going to be the gist of this video. We are literally going to pick it up from the Orlando delivery center. We're going to drive to his house, which is about 50 or 60 miles away on FSD. He wants to check his house, make sure there's nothing going on there. He hasn't been there in a few months. And then we're going to leave his house. I'm going to put in my address as the final destination, and we're going to see how FSD does on an 1,100-mile drive. Now, I don't have enough cameras, enough batteries to record everything, but I'll have 3 different cameras set up. I'll try to catch everything that I can, and we'll check in from time to time, probably in between charging stops or when we're at the charging stations. I'll talk to Disch about his thoughts. I'll offer my thoughts on how FSD is going, and you may have noticed there's some videos out there, one in particular of a Tesla influencer, a bearded Tesla guy, really nice guy, Justin. I know him. We've communicated. He just attempted to do a coast-to-coast drive and had a pretty severe failure about 60 miles in where the vehicle hit a giant metal chunk in the road. I'm going to be particularly observant of anything like that because I am not going to allow Disch's brand new car to hit something. So I may take over from time to time. I'm not going to just let FSD do its thing and hope that everything is okay. I'm going to be really cautious here because, as I said, watching that jarring video of him hit that giant metal block in the road was definitely not something that I want to repeat. With that said, I'm going to try to let it do its thing and drive 1,100 miles. We'll see just how far and how much of the driving FSD can do. I expect it to do extremely well. I've driven many vehicles with FSD and it just keeps getting better on the main highways and everything. But how about getting off the ramps and navigating to the superchargers? Will it go into the parking lot properly? Will it pull up to the chargers? That's going to be really interesting to see. So with that said, I'm about to head down to Florida now. We'll check in once Disch has picked up his 2025 Tesla Model Y, and we'll talk a little bit about our plans to head back to Jersey. See you then. And one last thing before I head to Florida. This is going to be an extremely long video. I'm going to be driving close to 20 hours. A lot of things are going to happen. So I am going to have chapters in the description of this video. If you don't feel like sitting through and watching a 2-hour video, because it may be 2 hours long, you can scroll down in the description of the video and click on what chapter you want to see, or maybe you just want to go right to the end to my summary. But I know a lot of people aren't up for watching 2 hours of video, but some people do want to see what happened over the course of the whole drive. And as I said, I'm going to have maybe 20 hours of video from 3 different cameras. I know I'm not going to be able to have all the videos from all the cameras. I don't have enough batteries, and I'd have to pull over and keep changing batteries, but I'm going to record as much as I can and show as much as I can in this video so you can experience what it's like driving 1,100 miles on FSD. State of Charge is powered by Qmerit, North America's premier installer of electric vehicle charging equipment. After I've helped you decide which charger to buy, follow the link in the description of my videos and have Qmerit install it. And if you do follow that link, Qmerit will waive the $150 installation deposit. But this is an exclusive offer for State of Charge followers. So in order to get that offer, you must follow the link in the description of my videos. All right, well, we're in the brand new 2025 Tesla Model Y. We just picked it up at the Tesla dealer down here in Florida, and we scooted over to Disch's house here. We just wanted to check the house because he hasn't been here in a little while and make sure everything was cool. And now we're going to head back to New Jersey. We're going to get to know a little bit about Disch in a few minutes and you know, talk to him about his initial thoughts on driving in a self-driving, supervised full self-driving Tesla. And with that, let's go. I'm going to put it on now, the full self-driving, and we'll see how it does, Disch.
It's so far so good. It's great. I tell you, I'm very impressed with everything that's happened so far. Now we're going to head home from Florida.
Let's see how well it does. It's a little different driving a few miles from the dealership to your house than it is driving over 1,000 miles to New Jersey, but we're going to see how it does.
It sure is.
Okay, so
we're ready to go.
Navigate to Chester, New Jersey. All right, it's calculating the route.
This thing is unbelievable.
Drive northwest on South Atlantic Avenue for 4.1 miles.
Oh, it has a stop. We're starting off with only 56% state of charge. So the car wasn't fully charged when we picked it up at the Tesla, and it wants us to stop in 79 miles. I'm not stopping that soon because we can go about 200 miles. So we'll just keep driving past the first recommended stop. There's a lot of superchargers on the way, but let's see how this does. Now we're in a parking lot, so I don't think the full self-driving would work now, but I'm going to press it Wait a minute. It actually.
But it's going. Let's see what happens.
I don't know if I don't know if it can get out of. It's a gated lot.
Unbelievable. No, it'll go if it goes to that gate.
Where's it going?
Let's see.
I don't think it knows what to do.
No, it doesn't know what to do.
No, it doesn't know what to do.
You gotta go to that.
Oh, I forgot to turn on this GoPro. Let me turn on this GoPro, and you'll see what's going on here now. It drove us right into like the gate.
It drove us into the fence.
Yeah, into the front fence.
It didn't go to the gate.
Yeah, not to the gate, but it drove us into the front fence, so it doesn't know what to do. Understandably. So which way is out? This way? Okay, so let me take over. Let me back up. And I'm not going to really count that as a mistake because we're in a parking lot. So I can't really.
No, you can't say that.
I can't expect it to know what to do in a parking lot. I was surprised that it started to go.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. So now.
You just drive over this thing here, right here.
Okay.
And the gate will open by itself.
All right. So if it would have known that this was the way, there's the gates opening now. If it would have driven over here, it could have completed its task. Yeah. But I guess, you know, it doesn't have private parking lots mapped. So
no,
that's
not.
completely understandable.
Can't expect that.
All right. So now I'm going to get out onto the road, and then I'm going to press the full self-driving button again. All right. So now let's see what she does. We are going, Disch.
We're on the way to Chester.
Florida to New Jersey, full self-driving, and we'll see how well it does. Of course, I'm going to be monitoring very closely. I don't want to have any mistakes. I know there's been some other creators that have tried to do long-distance drives that have not ended so well, and your brand new car had 5 miles when we picked it up. I'm not going to let anything bad happen to it.
Well, I'm sure you won't, and I sure am thankful for you for taking me to do this because I'm very new to this electronic stuff.
Yes, well, most people are, Disch, and it is a little daunting. I mean, even the ordering process, that, you know, I had to help you with that.
He did.
Because even just ordering the car through the app, we went to the Tesla dealer in New Jersey. They could give us no help because it had to be registered in Florida. They were basically just go online. We can't do anything for you here, and order it. Which we did, but you know, we had a couple of glitches because you had first responder discount. We didn't get that applied. We had to cancel the order, make a new order. They couldn't add that first responder discount after you had an order, which seemed weird to me. But now we got it done, and we are cruising. So, I mean, you've been in your car for a few miles now so far. What do you think about the quietness and smoothness and stuff?
It's amazing. It's very quiet, and when it accelerates and slows down, it drives much better than me. And my wife is going to be very happy when she finds out how good that Captain Otto is driving this thing. Captain Otto was my name for navigator because my grandfather's name was Captain Otto.
Okay. And he mentioned to me that his
NSB Wi-Fi.
Okay, you getting a phone call?
That's
all right. So why don't we?
Can you pause that?
Yeah, I'll shut the camera off. All right, we're back. Disch is off the phone. What do you think, Disch?
Oh, this is amazing.
You know,
around the bend, I can't believe it.
It's something.
It's something else.
Even, you know, I'm in this business, I'm in this industry, and it amazes me when I get in the supervised FSD vehicles how well they work. You know, but the thing is, they work really well until they don't. So there's a reason why they call it supervised FSD. You have to be constantly aware of something that could pop up. You can't let your guard down because it does so well so often. Look, there's a red light.
Coming to a red light, coming to a nice stop.
Slowing down for the red light.
Let's see this motorcycle come in front of us there.
See him?
See him? There he goes.
Well, they had him as a bicycle.
Yeah,
well, it is a bicycle. It's an electric bike. It's an electric bike. But I mean, this is going to be, you know, I think this is going to be really a relief for you. We talked about, well, actually, we haven't talked on camera yet, but you and I have talked extensively about the fact that, you know, you have a problem with your right eye, and sometimes your vision isn't the best. It's fine to drive, but every now and then you feel like it would be great if you had a little help. and you know, you still have a driver's license, you're still a good driver. I've driven with you before. That's not the issue. It's just that this is going to relieve some of your duties, and if you could just focus on the road, making sure the car is doing what it's supposed to, it's going to be a lot better for you.
Yeah.
You know?
I see we have a little traffic ahead of us, and
Yeah.
it's slowing down, right?
Yeah, let's
To
he's
keep
not,
up the pace. It's beautiful, I tell you.
you know what you were getting a kick out of before when it was changing lanes to go around slow-moving
Yeah,
cars?
yeah,
All by itself, it was putting the blinker on and going around the cars.
Yeah, we set the speed to go with the traffic
Yeah.
and up to
Up
40%.
to 40%. Yeah.
So
It was going around the car, the slow-moving vehicles. And that's one of the things that you told me you didn't think it would do. You didn't know it would do that.
Right.
You said you thought it was going to be like a problem to the other cars because it was just going to slowly drive at its own speed and not move
I
around.
did. That was my concern about all these self-driving electric cars that would cause accidents, but I could see how it's going to help to prevent accidents now.
And you've only been in it a few.
A few miles. Yeah, I'm very impressed. Very impressed.
Well, there's a lot more time to either impress you or to make you concerned about it, because we're 4 miles into a 1,000-mile drive, more than 1,000 miles. So, you know, it's going to be the most time we ever spent together. So, hopefully, we don't, you know, end up hating each other at the end of this drive.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to be the case.
No.
All right. Well, I have my camera set up. I'm not going to be able to record every inch, you know, 18 or 20 hours of driving, whatever it is, but I'm going to try to record a lot, and the goal here is for me to really document how well this FSD, supervised FSD, does. Every time it makes any sort of a little mistake, I'm going to note it, and then we'll talk about this at the end of the video. But I'm not checking out for good now. What we'll do is we'll check in at every Supercharger stop. As I mentioned earlier, it wanted me to stop in like 79 miles. I have 200 miles of range. I'm going to go right by that and maybe stop when I'm at 10% or lower, and that's where we'll do our first charge, okay?
Sounds good to me.
I'll show you how to supercharge.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll check in at the first Supercharger, probably, you know, 175 or so miles from here. Talk to you then. All right, Dish, we are 200 miles driven in your new Tesla. We're getting off to make the first Supercharger stop. It's going to be the first time that you've ever charged a car. You've always refueled.
Yeah, this has been amazing so far. I am simply amazed by the whole thing.
I haven't had to do anything, right?
I haven't do anything. We only had one problem, and that was that they wanted us to stop a little early for the fuel, but we didn't do it. We had to shut the
trip off.
The trip off, but then we reset it, and we're down to 8% now.
Yep, and we got out of Florida. We're into Georgia.
We're out of Florida. We're in Georgia, and it's
taking the exit now. Look at this.
Off right now. This is unbelievable. It's slowing down, and Tom has got his hands and his feet up, and
I'm like you, just sitting there, just
Captain Otto is doing a great job. He had
Now turn right
a
on
lot
the
of traffic
Georgia
going
Highway
through Jacksonville. He handled it well, and surprisingly, he picked the right lane at the right time.
Look at this.
It went through better than any navigator could do.
Now we just pulled out onto the highway here.
Better than the Magellan.
Now we got to make a few turns here to get into the soup. Look, we just crossed.
We just crossed 3 lanes, and it showed us on the screen what was on our left. And now we're pulling into the station, I believe.
Yeah. No, not yet. We still got a couple turns.
Oh, okay.
But we're in the left turn lane, and now let's see.
We have a green light. It's stopping.
But there's oncoming traffic.
Oncoming traffic.
Let's see.
And now they're letting us go. There's plenty of room. And well, there's the Cracker Barrel over there. We're probably going to go to for dinner.
Avenue.
Let's see how far up this is.
I don't know.
Right in the Shell station here.
I don't know.
I guess this is it.
I don't know. I think it made a wrong turn.
No, I don't think so.
I think it did. Look, we're off the course. It made the wrong turn. We were supposed to go into the next property.
Oh, boy.
And now we're in a Shell gas station. Let's see what it does. We're driving through
boy.
a Shell gas station. It made the wrong turn.
We don't have a gas tank.
Look, it's taking us through the back. I wonder if you can go through the parking lot to get here.
Well, let's see what happens.
Look what it's doing. It's rerouting us,
Turn
Disch,
left onto May Creek Drive.
completely around. It realized it made a mistake. We're driving through a
In
parking lot.
500 feet, turn left onto Boone Avenue. Then
Let's
turn
see what
left.
it does.
Let's see.
I mean, we're physically
Yeah.
close to the thing.
No.
Oh, it shut off. We're in the middle of we're actually in the property next to the gas station now. This is an abandoned property in the back of the parking lot, and it thinks we made it to the Supercharger. Okay, so that's mistake number one. You would think of all things it would be able to go to a Tesla Supercharger,
Right.
because it's a Tesla vehicle.
Yeah,
all right, so
it's funny.
I'm gonna have to intervene. First intervention, here we go. 207 miles of driving, and let's go. I am going to drive us. We're so close to the Supercharger. We've got to go back out onto that highway, and then turn left, I believe.
I think it's where that car went, right?
Yeah. We got to turn left here now because it pulled
I thought
into
it was
this.
in the Shell station, but that's what Captain Otto thought. But
Yeah, no, the captain. We got to turn left here.
I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. Because now it's not even showing up on the nav because it thinks we succeeded and completed that course. All right, so now this is the way we were driving.
Scott or Scott Ice 1104.
That's phones. Dish's phone.
Scott, I'll call you back. All right.
Oh, the Superchargers were in the back of this parking lot here. Okay, so now here
You
we
see
go.
them?
Yep, they're right here, right next to the Shell station. So, I mean, all the vehicle turned about 30 feet too soon into the Shell station. Here they are, right
Here
here.
they go. Oh, look at that. Son of a gun.
So it's going to be your first Supercharger session, Dish. The way you do it is you have to back into the stall. You have to. You can't pull straight in. The cable won't reach.
Okay.
So here we go. We're going to back right into the stall.
And there's nobody else here.
There's one other Tesla,
car,
yeah.
One other
Okay.
car here. And there's
Okay.
how many of them? How many stations are there? 1, 2, 3,
5, 6, I think 8.
8.
It looks like there's 8, I think.
And it's
So-
what time of the day is it? It's 4.
Yeah, it's 4:15. So okay, we're gonna supercharge now. We're gonna get something to eat, and we will check back in when we're back out on the road. Okay, Dish, you're gonna charge an electric car for the first time. I want you to grab the connector.
Okay.
You gotta lift it up off the hook. Bring it over here towards your charge port. This is where your charge port is.
Okay.
Now press that button on the top of the connector.
That's it? You gotta be kidding me.
Okay, now what you want to do is wait. You see it's blinking blue here? You want to wait till it blinks green. That means it started charging. See, it's like a purple color now, and it should turn to green soon. It's
Okay.
taking a little longer than usual. I can see it with the camera.
Oh.
There it is, it's green now. See, it's green? Can you see that?
I see that little. Oh yeah.
See, it's green?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the sunlight was there. Once it's green, it's charging. Or you can see from inside your app or inside the car tells you. But so how do you feel about charging an electric car?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm telling you.
All right, let's go
And
get
you don't
something
get
to
any
eat.
fumes on your hands.
No fumes, no dirt, nothing. So it's let's get a little back. Dish in his new Tesla Model Y. Very good. Let's go get something to eat. All right, Dish. So we're recharged. We had a nice little dinner there at Cracker Barrel. It's been a while since I've been to a Cracker Barrel, but it was pretty good. I have to admit. And the car's recharged. So, what did you think about your first electric car charging experience?
Well, it was pretty easy to do, and it went very fast, a lot faster than I thought to do the first part. In about 20 minutes, it was up to 78%, and then it slowed down a little bit, and the whole thing took 50 minutes, and that's just about what it took us to eat. So it was like 93, 94% by the time we got back to the car, so we left from there.
Yeah, we plugged in at 8%. We were at 8%.
Yeah, we were at 8%. Then it took 50 minutes.
Yeah,
It's pretty good, boy, I'll tell you. And then we got a phone call from my son, and when we started back on the road, and he was amazed as I was, because we let him watch the car get back onto 95, which was amazing. And we were at a green light, and the traffic was coming the other way real fast, and it just sat there and waited for its time very patiently, and when it was time, it went, and it's unbelievable, I'll tell you. I'm so impressed. And now we just passed a tractor trailer that was hauling cars, and the guy was maybe a little sleepy, and he was waving, and the car seemed to sense that. He was like waving in the road, this tractor trailer, and it speeded up to pass it, and the car didn't go that fast until that particular moment, so it must have sensed that there was a little danger in it. Yeah. And it compensated for that by getting ahead of the guy.
How about when that other truck came really close, swerved towards us?
Yeah, another truck did something similar to that, and the Tesla responded by just easing a little bit to the left.
There was
just in case he kept coming, but he didn't. He caught it as we were passing it.
Yeah, it was an extended van, big like commercial van, and it was wandering like he was going to come into our lane.
Yeah.
And we were actually in the fast lane at the time, so we had nowhere to go but the shoulder. But the Tesla moved over, and to the edge of the lane, and enough to give us enough room to get past him, and then accelerated past the guy. So it's interesting how cognizant it is of everything around you, and reacts to everything.
That's
faster than most people can.
Yes,
and,
no, exactly.
Yeah, and we're an hour into the drive to the next Supercharger, which is going to be up in South Carolina at Dillon, Little Rock. If we can make it, it's 304 miles. Well, it was 304 miles from the last Supercharger, and it's interesting how the Tesla said we could go 353 miles, but I know that range estimator is not accurate in Teslas. You really need to look at the range estimator in the energy screen. It's saying now that we won't make it, that we're going to come up about 5 miles short. So that means it's saying that we could go about 299 miles, even though the original range estimator told us 353. So I'm explaining to Dish how not to rely on that range estimator in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. If you're on a long trip, use the navigation and look at the energy screen, because that has a much clearer, more accurate view of how far you can go. And it's telling us we can't make it now. And I wanted to go to that Supercharger because it has 40 stalls. I haven't been to a Supercharger that big with 40 stalls. So what happens at the end, when we're getting close, maybe I'll slow down a little bit. If not, there's debris in the road here. Look at this.
Yeah, I see what you would say.
A truck tire must have just ripped off a truck, because it was just scattered all over the road, and all the pieces of rubber was bouncing and everything. So luckily it wasn't anything that would have damaged the car, but there would have been nothing we could have done about that. It happened right in front of the car in front of us. But hopefully we can make it. If not, we'll slow down a little bit. If not, there's another Supercharger I think not too far in front of it, like 5 or 10 miles in front of it. We can make that one.
And it's interesting that it also tells us right on the screen that if you want to make your destination, to slow your speed down.
Yeah, it says stay below 70 miles an hour to reach destination.
Yeah.
Which we're not going to stay below 70 miles an hour.
No,
I want to get home.
Yes, right, exactly.
Well, we're not going to drive through the night. The plan now is to go to this next supercharger, charge up, and then we're going to look for a hotel in the area, get up first thing in the morning, and then make it the final 650 miles or so up to New Jersey. It's been a long day. We had to get up I got up at 4 o'clock to get the flight down to Florida, and you know, we're going to be pulling into that supercharger. The next one it's telling us now 9:52. So we'll be there for 40 minutes or so. By the time we get to the hotel, it's going to be after 11 o'clock. I'll be done by then. I'll be ready to call it quits. We'll get a hotel room, and then we will start up first thing in the morning for the final drive. But FSD has made no more mistakes so far. It's just that one mistake, and that was pulling into the Tesla supercharger. It pulled into the wrong parking lot, and then it got stuck there because it didn't know how to get out, I guess. And wow, look at this. There's like more rubber flapping. I think that we're passing the truck now that had that tire problem. Anyway, so yeah, that was the only problem it's made. I'm not going to ding it when we initially were in Disch's parking lot and it tried to drive into the fence.
Yeah.
That's not its fault. That was a private parking lot. But that is one mistake when we went to the supercharger. It should know how to pull into the supercharger's parking lot. And the interesting thing was the navigation was correct. I was watching, the blue line showed where we were supposed to turn, but the car turned in before the blue line showed it to turn in. It disobeyed the navigation. So that's one mistake, but I mean, that's minor. That was, you know, not something where I'm driving 75 miles an hour like we are now. It's made no mistakes actively driving, and we went through that busy area down in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
You know,
during rush hour.
During rush hour, and it was changing lanes, and it was, you know, bumper to bumper traffic for a while.
Picking the correct lane.
Yeah, yeah.
And it did a better job than I could have, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, that's why you got it, Disch. It's you know, this is going to be, you know, I think liberating for you. All right, well, we're going to check out now and come back when we are arriving at the supercharger. It's probably going to be dark, though. I don't know how the lighting is going to work in here, but we'll check in when we're pulling into the next supercharger stop. All right. Checking back in, we are about to get off 95 again for our second supercharger stop. Unfortunately, we're not going to make the original supercharger that I wanted to go to. That's actually 24 miles farther. We just didn't make it. The consumption just didn't work out, and we're going to be pulling into this supercharger after we're at 279 miles driven now. We got about a mile to go.
70 on the right.
Okay, so we're getting off the highway now, and
In 500 feet, keep left at the fork.
we're stopping at the supercharger in Florence,
Now keep
South
left at the
Carolina. Okay, let's see if it's making the right decisions. Here it is.
Now turn left onto North Williston Road.
Okay, turning left at this intersection. Looking good. I think this is at a Buc-cee's. There's a big Buc-cee's right in front of us. It's either at the Buc-cee's or next door to it. It was hard to tell from the map, but it's probably at the Buc-cee's, which will be good. We could go in there. Disch has never been to a Buc-cee's.
Never been to a Buc-cee's, my first one. And
so how'd we do in this last 280 miles?
Buckaroo, did they name this after you?
Turn right.
We got a friend called Buc-cee. That's who he's talking about.
No, I have another Buckaroo friend too.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, 2 Buc-cee friends.
Now turn right.
All right, so it's going in, it's doing everything. Pulled off the highway, made all the right turns, and we are pulling in.
By the Buc-cee's.
Now let's see.
In 500
Let's
feet,
see if it.
turn right.
Let's see if it does this one properly, because that's where it messed up the last time, was getting to the supercharger. So it looks like
Now turn right.
it's doing it right. It's turning right into the Buc-cee's parking lot, and we are in the Buc-cee's lot now. So we did better than we did last time. Now let's see if it actually will take us right
Now
to the
turn right.
superchargers. Now turn right.
Turn right.
I don't know where the superchargers are here. We're going by all the tons of gas pumps.
Wow, look at this
I know.
thing. Oh,
It's crazy how many gas pumps are here.
Yeah.
Right?
yep.
Let's see if it's going to actually take us to the superchargers or if it's just going to park somewhere arbitrarily in the parking lot.
Let's see what it does with this stop sign. It's the
In
first.
500 feet, your destination will be on the right.
Oh, it's over there. I see it on the left, but it says it'll be there on the right. I can see the superchargers are right to our left.
There we
It
go.
is turning.
It's turning.
And this parking lot's got all different curbs and everything.
Let's see.
It might be doing it,
What?
Dish.
Let's see.
It might be doing it.
Stopped at the stop sign, making a left.
I think it's gonna
doing
do it.
It's gonna do it. It's there. Otto, you did it, Otto.
Could you believe it made it through that maze of a parking lot?
Right.
And
Yeah.
we're
Look
here.
at
On the
that.
right.
Son of a
Yeah.
gun.
And here's the chargers here. Now it's not going to back into the stall. So watch, it's going to probably stop us
What
now.
is this guy doing?
I don't know. That's to clean your
Window.
windows. Yeah. So now it's going around this truck.
Did it do this by itself?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's
See that?
still
Wow.
doing it. But I don't think it's going to back into a stall. I don't think it does that. Let's see what it does. And nope, that's it.
That's it.
But we're here. The
But we're
chargers
here,
were right
right?
by the chargers. Okay, let me put it in reverse and back into the stall, and we can get plugged in, and we'll see what we're doing. So Dish, 280 miles in that last leg from the last charger to this one. Did it make any mistakes?
No.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing. Not a single mistake. It
No,
it was perfect.
It did some extra things that we didn't.
Yeah, we went through that
expecting,
construction
it was even
zone,
better.
and there were cones that were in our lane, and it had to scoot and drive a little bit off onto the shoulder,
Right.
and it did it perfectly. I was standing there ready to take over. I didn't think it was going to be able to do that because the cones gradually came out into our lane, and it like pushed us off the road, and it realized that.
And it saw that truck too.
Yeah, there was a big tractor trailer that was weaving towards us, yeah.
And it made it went a little bit faster than normal to get around it, so we didn't have any problems.
Listen, we are now 487 miles from the Tesla dealership, all on FSD.
Yes.
And the only real hiccup was pulling into the last supercharger. It pulled into the parking lot 30 feet away.
And when you got punished.
Oh, yeah. We don't want to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about that now.
It kicked. I was trying to I got kicked off FSD. I'm only a couple hours into FSD and it already kicked me off, and I had to pull over and I had to turn the car off and turn it back on. And I'm going to blame that on Tesla because the navigation was routing me to superchargers that I didn't want to use, and you can't just eliminate one supercharger. You have to eliminate all charging stops. That's terrible user experience. You should be able to select a single Tesla supercharger that you don't want to go to along your route and say, I don't want to go to this one, cancel this. Tesla doesn't let you do it. So I had to cancel the whole navigation, and then I'm searching for the right supercharger, and I guess I wasn't looking.
And Captain Otto punished.
He punished me and he kicked me off supercharger. So yeah, that was, that wasn't my best moment. But in any event, the car hasn't made any mistakes yet, really, other than that little hiccup. It's doing, I would say, at least as good as I expected. All right, so we're done for the day. We're going to charge up now. We're going to get a hotel right in this area. It's already almost 10 o'clock. We've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning flying,
Right.
and then picking up your car.
I want to say one thing about the lights, the headlights. Amazing. I had trouble with my eyes.
The matrix headlights,
reading the sign, and the lights actually go up and shine on the sign, and you can read it perfectly. It's amazing. It's one more amazing thing after the other here.
Disch has been all day like a kid on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Everything's finding new about the car. He's like, just flabbergasted about it. And this is the guy that, not too long ago wouldn't have even considered an electric car.
Right.
And we're only a few hours into his ownership, and he's sold.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's plug in, and we're going to find a hotel in the area, and then we'll check back in the morning when we're heading to our next stop, which will probably be in northern North Carolina, or maybe right beyond that. We'll see how far of a drive that is. Probably in North Carolina.
To northern North Carolina. Maybe Virginia.
Maybe right over the border of Virginia. But we'll check in the morning after we've gotten some sleep, and then we'll continue the FSD hands off. And my battery's dead on one of my GoPros. FSD hands off from Florida to New Jersey. All right, day 2 of the Florida to New Jersey FSD. So far, so good. We're back out on the road. We got a good night's sleep. We're about halfway to New Jersey, Disch.
Yeah.
And so far, there's very little to complain about. It's been overall fantastic. Anything anything new that you want to add?
I think that you're getting better, Tom, because we had a little trouble in the beginning with starting out in the parking lot, but this morning Tom figured it out, and we started right from park, and it was really amazing that Otto pulled out of the parking lot. It was a truck in a way, and it went around the truck and right onto the road, right onto the highway, all by itself.
Yeah, I learned, I was looking through the settings in FSD, and while I've owned a few Teslas, I haven't in a few years, and I've driven the latest versions of FSD recently, but I haven't spent this much time in it. So I didn't realize you can turn on the FSD from park, which is what I turned on when we were in the hotel this morning. And a segue about that. So last night when we supercharged, we only charged to 80%. We were tired. We wanted to go to sleep, but we chose a hotel that had an EV Connect charger, and so we plugged in last night, charged to 100%, and it was free. So it was a free complimentary charger at the hotel. So we're able to charge from, I think we got to the hotel at 77% to 100%. So we left at 100% today. And when I was setting up my cameras, I was looking through the FSD settings, and you can activate FSD from park. So I turned that on, and what Disch was just talking about, right from park, you just press and hold the icon, and the vehicle puts itself in drive, puts the blinker on, pulled out of the parking spot, had to go around the parking lot of the hotel. There was a big truck making a delivery. It had to go around it, make 2 or 3 turns. And it's to me, that's one of the things that I've been the most surprised about. I knew FSD works fantastically on roads and highways and so forth. I've driven them, but I haven't spent as much time in parking lots as I have now. And as you saw in the very beginning, it didn't do well, but it was in a gated parking lot down in Florida. But the other parking lots that we've driven in so far, like Buc-cee's when we went to the Supercharger, and then this morning getting out of the hotel parking lot, it got its way through the parking lot extremely well, out onto the road,
right,
and then merged into the highway.
A lot of turns, stop signs, signals.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah,
I tell you,
it's surprising how well it works in parking lot areas. Where it's not, the parking lots have there's different routes than roads. There's frequently cars parked where they're not supposed to be and so forth, and it worked really well around those. So I mean, so far, literally the only ding that we have is that first Supercharger stop where it pulled into a gas station next to the parking lot for the Supercharger. Other than that, I mean, it's handled. We're in a construction zone now, driving through a construction zone. It's no issues. You know, the lanes on the highway sometimes aren't painted correctly when you go through construction zones. It's staying in its lane. It's not making any mistakes. I haven't had to take over a single time yet, and we are halfway home. So we've driven over 500 miles, and the FSD has performed just nearly flawlessly. I'm impressed, and I drive this all the time. I can only imagine how Disch must feel, because he's never been in any kind of a vehicle like this. He's never even driven in a Tesla with autopilot, basic autopilot. And you know, you must feel like you're in a spaceship or something that it's doing this.
Buck Rogers, boy, I'll tell you, this is unbelievable.
Yeah. And a little bit about Disch. I know I mentioned it in the beginning of the video, but Disch was ex-military and also a New York City fireman. And he was a New York City fireman in the 60s and the 70s, which if you're from the area and you're of the right age, you know that area was rough in the 60s and 70s. And he actually worked in and correct me if I'm wrong, the busiest firehouse, not in New York City, not in the US, in the world.
Yeah.
The house that he worked in got the most calls of any firehouse in the world.
Well, not so much the most calls, the most fires, structural fires. That's how we rated ourselves as the busiest. I mean, there was some that had a little bit busier than us, but not much. But
call-wise, yeah.
Call-wise, yeah. But it was called the war years. We called them
war years.
The war years.
Yeah.
yeah. And it was pretty rough, but it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it, and I'm very proud of it.
As you should be.
And I had to retire because I got hurt, and after that I worked as a construction engineer, and I retired from that. I'm 83 years old now, and I have a little trouble with my eyes, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to get this Tesla vehicle, and it's going to be great. And I mean, I'm able to see and everything, but it just, I was so impressed last night with the headlights that it just illuminated the signs so I could read them. I couldn't read them before at night.
Yeah.
But it's great.
Yeah. But I have explained to you thoroughly that as well as it's doing, and it's doing unbelievably. I have had to do no input so far, and we're nearly 600 miles into a road trip where, I mean, I've had to do nothing. You still have to be ready. You have to be ready. You have to be focused forward, and the Tesla makes sure you are, because it nags. Like, how many times has it come on blinking to tell me? Because it's a new vehicle, and I'm talking to Disch, and we're filming this, and so often I have to look forward for a second and jiggle the wheel a little bit, because it's telling me it's going to give us a strike and disconnect FSD if I don't do that. And appropriately so, because it just takes a second and you're in trouble, and you hit something on the roadway or something. And the one thing, and I made sure Disch understood this, the one thing that it could have a problem with is if there's an obstruction in the roadway. We've seen this in videos. We've seen other, even influencers, driving and something's in the road and the vehicle doesn't know what it is. It could be a plastic bag floating in the road, which you don't have to worry about. It could be roadkill, or it could be a giant chunk of metal that really messes the car up.
We had that tire last night too.
Yeah.
I mean, and
I forgot to mention that.
It didn't realize, I guess, what happened. I mean, it wasn't, nothing really happened, but
there was
a tire fell off the truck.
Yeah, one of the truck tires, I guess, blew up, and it must have happened within a couple vehicles in front of us.
Yeah.
Because as we approached it, I could see a couple vehicles in front of us kind of swerving back and forth, and there were all shards of plastic bouncing all over the road. And we ran over a piece of tire. It wasn't too big, but I mean, there was no way to avoid that because it was, I mean, there was rubber everywhere. It was on all the lanes.
Yeah.
But you know, it made no effort to try to avoid anything. If that was something more problematic than a rubber tire, we would have had difficulty, but or we would have hit it, you know, because it was all over the roadway. But you have to. This is still supervised FSD, as good as it is, and it is fantastic so far. It's supervised, and you have to be ready to take over. So, all right, we're going to keep driving now. Oh, one last thing I want to add. I'm still not happy with Tesla's route planner. I mentioned that earlier, that it made us, on our first stop of the trip, it wanted us to stop at 31% or something state of charge. I want to run it down lower than that. And now, when we left the hotel, we're 600 miles from Chester, New Jersey, where our endpoint is. So I'm figuring we're going to make 2 supercharger stops because we're charged to 100%. We only need to stop twice, and it has us stopping 3 times. And the first stop, we're going to get there with 34%. Why is it making us stop at 34%? To me, it doesn't make any sense. There's plenty of superchargers along the route after that. Let me drive another 50 or 60 miles, and then I'll only have to stop one more time to get home. So I think we're going to drive by that and not listen to the route planner. And again, I really don't like that I can't cancel. What's that?
Fort Bragg.
Yeah, we're passing Fort Bragg now.
Fayetteville. Told you about that.
Yeah, Fayetteville. We'll keep that off camera.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't cancel this one supercharger stop. Tesla should allow you to say, I don't want to stop at this one supercharger location, and cancel that one and let it select another one, but you can't. I can cancel all the supercharger stops on this route, but I don't want to do that. Let me just cancel this one and let it reroute me the rest of the way, but it won't do that. So that would be, you know, a suggestion that I would make to Tesla for improving the route planner, is to let the customer say, I don't want to stop there, and just can that one, and then replan the route. It wouldn't seem like it would be a hard thing to do, but in any event, we'll keep driving, and we'll see how we go. We'll check in when we're pulling into the next supercharger stop. All right, so we are 184 miles into today's drive, and what I did was I did pass the supercharger stop that it recommended, and we were going to head another 60 miles or so. We're at 40% state of charge now, but nature calls. We need a restroom break, so we are stopping at Halifax. I was hoping to stop at this site. This is a huge Tesla supercharger site. It has 60 superchargers, so the timing worked out great. We're at 40% state of charge. Obviously, we were going to drive down. The stop we were going to had us at 18% when we arrived, which was more preferable for me. But yeah, we're pulling off now. I think we're going to be getting off the highway right now in Halifax.
Now take exit 168 on the right.
Which we're doing. Blinkers on. It's interesting because there's a car on the shoulder here.
500 feet.
We're going around that car.
Highway 903.
And we're really close. It's like
now turn left onto
3 miles from the exit, which is one of the things that's really good about Tesla superchargers. Tesla does a really good job locating their chargers right off the highway, if not directly on the highway, better than some of the other networks. Some of the other networks, Electrify America, for instance, you've got to drive like 2 or 3 miles off the highway. But Tesla does a great job of really getting their chargers as close to the highway as possible, so you don't have to drive far when you get off the highway. Now, this is a busy intersection here, but it's doing just fine.
And doing its thing. Boy, I'll tell you. And
I can't tell you how many times Disch has said, this thing's amazing.
Feet, turn right.
Okay, there it is. See all the superchargers, Disch?
Yeah, wow. Holy cow.
Now turn right.
All right, let's see.
Oasis.
Yeah, this is at a mobile gas
In
station.
500 feet, you
And
will arrive at your destination.
it's interesting. It's driving us through the gas station. We didn't need to do that. We could have gone around the pumps, but interesting here. Now it's pulled us right into the Oasis, convenience store, and it actually parked incorrectly too, in the middle of two parking spaces. We parked right over a white line, and the Tesla Superchargers are right there. It's funny how the last time we went to the Supercharger,
Out of order.
yeah, it tells you what stalls are not working, so you don't pull into them. They're all numbered.
Okay.
There's 3 out of the 60 stalls are not working, 5A, 5B, and 11A. So we have 57 stalls that we could choose from.
Wow.
But it's interesting how that last Supercharger we went to, it took us right to the Superchargers.
Yeah.
But here it pulled into the convenience store and parked again, right in the middle of 2 stalls, right over the white line.
Yeah.
So now we'll back out and pull into the Supercharger. Let's do that now, so we can start parking, and you and I can go inside this Oasis Quick Mart here and take a little break. All right, I'm backing up, and here we go. It's got a covered canopy here, so you don't have to charge in the direct sunlight.
That's solar. That is a solar.
Yeah, so it's a solar canopy, huge solar canopy. You see how these chargers look a little different than the ones we went to before? The other ones had like a hole in the middle dish.
Yes.
This is the new chargers. They're called the V4 chargers. These are actually eventually going to be more powerful than the ones that we even went to. And you asked me if other vehicles can use Teslas. See this here? This is a Rivian. That's the same as my Rivian, a R1S, a green Rivian R1S. So you see how he's using an adapter. So we'll pull over here to 9C. Again, you got to back in.
Right. And
So
this is the new one, huh?
yeah, they look a little bit different. The cables are longer, and they're eventually going to have much higher voltage and more power to charge vehicles faster. It won't charge your vehicle faster though, because this has I talked to you about the battery pack voltage, a 400 volt architecture.
Yeah.
Some other electric vehicles, like the Porsche I was telling you, have an 800 volt architecture. They'll charge much faster on the new Tesla stations than currently. So okay, let's get out, plug in, and then we'll start it back up when we're in the car taking off again. We'll see how FSD pulls out of this parking lot. It was kind of I wouldn't call it a fail, but half a fail pulling in. It got us into the parking lot, but it parked in the wrong place.
Parking lot, but the wrong spot.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is close enough.
Ooh. I don't know. Unfortunately, I have a piece of paper over the camera because my GoPro overheats, and I didn't realize it moved. So part of that clip, you might not have seen you because that piece of paper might have been blocking the camera. If that's the case, I'm sorry. I apologize. All right, Dish, we made our quick rest stop. We charged up. We're at 85%. How about how you remarked how fast?
Really quick, and this plaza reminds me of 2001: Space Odyssey. When you look at the chargers, the way they are, like the big square.
The white, yeah. And you like the solar panels too.
The solar panels on the roof that are helping get electricity to charge the cars.
And also give you shade while you're charging. So
yeah. Well,
all right. So now we're going to pull out. I'm going to see how it works from park. Because it had difficulty coming into this lot. Let's see. Not really coming into the lot, but getting to the chargers. Let's see now how it does leaving. So now it has us stopping in Baltimore, Maryland as our only stop before we get home, which is great. I'm going to hit press and hold, start FSD, tap brake to confirm. All right, now it's going to pull us out. And
here we go.
There we go.
And it's making a left, following the arrows.
Blinker on. I hope it doesn't try to turn right. No, it didn't. Turn left. So I have mixed feelings on. There's a big Coca-Cola truck parked here.
Is he?
No, he's not charging. He's just parked there making a delivery.
Okay.
Delivering Coke. You know, the trucks park wherever they can in a parking lot.
Yeah.
All right. So interesting. It got us out of the lot without a problem from the Superchargers, and you know, I have mixed feelings on whether I'm going to call this a fail, because it got us into the right parking lot about 50 feet from the Chargers. It just didn't pull up to the Chargers, you know, and it parked. The one thing that was weird about it was it parked where the parking spaces were, but it didn't park in a parking spot. It parked right in the middle of 2 parking spots over the white line. So that I was surprised that it would do that. And now we're getting back out on 95. Let's watch this.
Here we go.
Here we go, no problem.
Accelerating.
Yep.
Hitting it.
And pretty clear. Blinker on.
Again. We're back on the road again.
And we are back on the road again. All right, we're back out on 95. We'll, I guess, check back in at the last stop, which is going to be in Baltimore, unless there's some other reason for us to stop. I mean, we're already just about 700 miles into this Orlando to New Jersey drive, and very little to report on. It's been an uneventful drive. I've just sat here. I might as well have been sitting in the back seat, except for the fact that, you know, with the driver monitoring, the vehicle wouldn't go if I tried to sit in the back seat. But other than that, the FSD has earned a solid A, if not A plus at this point. We'll check back in at next Supercharger stop in Baltimore. All right, we're checking in at the next, well, almost at the next Supercharger stop. Little change of plans. If you recall earlier, I said that the next stop was going to be in Baltimore, and that was what the route planner had suggested. But then like 20 minutes later, I think because there was traffic, it rerouted and has us going to a different Supercharger. And now, instead of Baltimore being the only stop we had to make before we made it to Jersey, it's scheduled 2 stops, because we're at 30% state of charge now, so we're only going to be here for 5 minutes or so, and then move on to the next Supercharger. Okay, we're taking the exit. And very uneventful period this last time in between these recordings. Everything was perfect. There was not really a whole lot to report on, and everything just worked just fine. We didn't have any specific events that we really need to talk about, right?
Well, the only thing is that they rerouted us to this fuel stop.
He keeps saying for gas.
But it rerouted us, I think, because of the traffic jam that we just went through, and it decided that maybe we should stop
in 500 feet,
twice, but it's only going to be a short stop.
Yeah, it's saying we only need to stop for 5 minutes. Now we won't even be able to get out, use the restroom, and come back to the car in 5 minutes. So we'll be here a little bit longer than that.
Yeah.
But that's all we'll do is make a quick bathroom break, and then we'll head up. We got to get around DC, which is going to stink because now it's 2:30, so it means we're going to be getting through DC right around rush hour, or the beginning of rush hour, which I was hoping to be past that by rush hour, and that's not going to happen. So we're my hopes of getting home around 6:30 tonight is not going to happen. I'm hoping now for 7:30. We'll see, but we're off the exit now, and we are. Let me see. Interesting. Now that we've been recording, something happened here. I think it missed a turn or something.
Yeah, we were supposed to get off there, but there was, I think, some kind of construction or something.
1,000 feet.
And I didn't
No,
notice.
1,000 feet, it's telling you.
No, it's going this way and coming up and turning around.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
See that? So, yeah, instead of being a minute from the Supercharger that I thought we were, now it's 9 minutes and 5 miles.
To go back, well, let's just go straight and just see where the next one is, Tom.
That might be better.
What do you think?
That might be better, but I need to check the route planning sufficient energy to skip next charging stop. It's saying. Oops, I don't want to pay attention to the road. That's one thing that I have to say. I know I've said it before in this video. The supercharger nagging is really excessive. I can't even look at the screen to figure out where I'm going before it's blinking and telling me to turn off. I know it has to be safe and you have to keep your eyes on the road, but in any car, even a gas car, you could look for a second, you know what I mean, to do something. I know you have to keep your eyes on the road. I get all that, but I mean, I have Blue Cruise on my Ford F-150 Lightning and Super Cruise on my Equinox, and both of those systems, yes, they nag you, but I can look away for a little bit longer than I can look away with the Tesla. It's really strict. Okay, so now it has us going...
an hour and 52 minutes. No, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can make it.
Yeah, but we better stop because you got to freshen up, and I got to go use the bathroom.
Okay. All right. Well, see, it's already telling me to look at the road. So okay. Yeah, maybe we'll even pull over so I can figure out where we're going to stop. But we're not stopping now. we're past the supercharger. It rerouted us, I guess, because it couldn't take that exit. And I'm going to have to look at the recordings. Was the exit closed, or was it just that it couldn't get over?
No, it looked like there might have been.
I'll have to look at the video because we have the video going, and
something was going on. I thought we were supposed to get off there, but it kind of looked like that you couldn't get over there.
Well, I'll check the video and we'll replay it when I'm showing this video. So there could have been a mistake there that the FSD just couldn't get off at the exit, and now it's rerouted us because of that. So we'll check back in once I know where we're going exactly and what supercharger we're going to stop at. Okay, so in for our next update. So when we were last talking, the FSD missed an exit to get off to do supercharging. So then it rerouted us. At first, the navigation had us going like 4 or 5 miles farther, turning around and coming back. And then it said, nope, you have enough energy to make another charging station. So we'll route you to that charger. And the problem at that point was we were planning on making a bathroom break and actually getting something to eat at that last charger, and we had to make a bathroom break. So instead of driving to the next supercharger, which was going to take about another 40 minutes, I disengaged autopilot so we could get off the highway, and there was restaurants and gas stations and stuff right off at an exit. So I turned off the FSD, and we got off. We made a stop, and then I turned it back on to get back out onto the highway and resume our course to the next supercharger. And the interesting thing is, pulling out of the parking lot of the restaurant that we were in, it went out where it was an enter only, and there were big signs saying do not enter, but it went past them. We went out. It stopped. It stopped before it went out into the highway, but it went the wrong way. So that was a mistake. Not a big mistake. Again, not on a public road. It was in a parking lot, but it was a do not enter, and we went out the inn. Okay, did that fine. Then getting back out onto 95, as we were on the entrance ramp to the highway, there was a good amount of vehicles there. And as we merged out onto the highway, it cut off a Jeep, a black Jeep Cherokee, and it was a pretty hard cutoff. So much so that the guy pulled up next to us and looked at us and just shook his head like that wasn't cool. And it wasn't cool. So sorry, whoever you are, that was not a good move. And then, so we get to the next supercharger, which was in Maryland. God, I forget the,
in a parking garage in Hanover.
In Hanover, yeah, it was in a parking garage at a hotel. And those were urban superchargers, which, are much lower powered, 72 kilowatt superchargers. We only needed to get a little juice to get us to our final stop, which we're going to be going to in Newark, Delaware. We're headed to now. And so we charged up there for a short period of time. And then I hit the FSD to leave, and it pulled out of the supercharger just fine, started heading in the right direction, and then it kind of got lost in the parking garage and was...
We're on the 3rd level.
Yeah, we're on the 3rd floor, and you have to keep turning right. You know, turn right, go down a level, turn right again, go down a level. Just have to keep making right turns. You know, parking garages are. When you're going up, you're making left turns. When you're coming down, you're making right turns. Well, not all of them, but it could be the other way around too. But it just got lost, and it couldn't figure its way out. It was going to a dead end, then backing up, turning around, going another way, parking, and it was kind of a funny situation. So couldn't figure out how to get out of the parking deck. So took over, got out of the deck as soon as we left the deck, you know, hit FSD again, went along. Everything seems like totally fine, except just now we were in the Easy Pass Express lane heading north, and the express lane was coming to an end, and there was like it kind of merged left and right.
Yeah.
It should have stayed to the right, because then we would have stayed on 95, but it didn't. It took what was almost like an exit, and now we're off 95, and there was construction, and so we came to a traffic light, and we had to shut off FSD and make a right-hand turn, just drive about 100 feet, and then the ramp to 95 again was on the left. Make the left, and got on 95. But that was the first time that on a road, and we're 950 miles in. That was the first time that we had to disengage because it made a mistake and went the wrong way. The other disengagements we made, the one for a bathroom break that I just talked about, that was, we needed to stop, but we had to get off the highway. And the other times were in parking lots. But, you know, 950 miles in before I actually had to take over and get us back out onto 95.
Just as your scorekeeper, I wanted to let you know that Captain Otto made 4 mistakes and Tom only made 1.
And the mistake he's talking about is the one strike that I gave him against his FSD while driving,
okay.
because I'm trying to figure out which supercharger we should stop in,
right.
and he got a strike. This was yesterday, not today.
Yes.
Where it actually it shut off, so I had to pull over, turn the vehicle off, turn it back on, and then you can turn on FSD again. For those that don't know, if you're not paying attention, FSD starts flashing saying pay attention. If for another second or so you don't pay attention, it beeps. And then if you continue to not pay attention according to what it determines is your attention, it shuts off. And when it shuts off, you get what they call a strike. And when you get, I think, 5 strikes, you lose the ability to turn on FSD for a week. So I've already given Disch 1 strike now, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. Under normal driving, that wouldn't have happened. We're trying to figure out which way we're going. I've got cameras moving on here and everything, and
yeah.
you know, so, but yeah, Disch has 1 strike on me.
We'll learn.
So all right, we're going to keep going. We're about 25 miles from our last stop, again in Delaware, Newark, Delaware. And we should only have to stop there for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, maybe even less. But I don't know, we might grab a bite to eat, so we might be there a little bit longer. And then after that, we'll check in when we're on the final drive home to Jersey. Okay, so I had to turn the camera back on. We're stuck. What do we do, Disch?
I don't know. Captain Otto got lost.
Yeah, so
I think he's getting tired.
Yeah, I think he's getting tired too. We're at 990 miles now, and we're pulling into our last supercharger stop, which was at Royal Farms in Delaware, in Newark, Delaware. And as we're coming down the road, it could have just made a left down the side street that the Royal Farms is on, and then turn left into the parking lot. But instead it decided to go straight and do this big turnaround, or like go down a street, turn left again, come all around, and then come up the street that it was on and pull into the parking lot. I guess it thought it couldn't do what it's supposed to do. So anyway, we go past Royal Farms and we make the first right to begin this turnaround, and we're at a dead end, and it kind of pulled up, the steering wheel shook a bit, and then it just stopped, and we're parked sideways across the road. It gave up. It's like, I don't know what to do. Yeah. So now there's kind of like a construction company to our left. There's a dead end in front of us, and I guess I'll back out, and then let me put it in reverse. Let me back up, and then I'm going to turn on autopilot again, or I keep saying full self-driving again. And then let's see if now that I turn around and get out of this dead end, we'll see what it does. Okay, Disch?
In 500 feet,
Yeah.
turn right to stay
So-
on D at Mill
I
Road.
just tell us to go,
Alright, so
go that way again.
I put it back on. So now let's see what it does. It really should turn left here. And
Right.
it is turning left. It's got
Is
the
it?
left blinker on, yeah. And this is going to be a good test. This is a busy 4-lane, not highway, but busy road.
Yeah.
Oh, we got an opening here. It's going to take it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Okay, so it looks like we're back on path now. But that was funny how it didn't realize that it could just turn into the Royal Farms and into where the superchargers are. Now again, it should be turning right here.
No, it's going to go right into the back way.
Into the back way? Okay.
Yeah.
In 500 feet, turn right.
Yeah,
it's gonna go-
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to be good, but let's keep running until we're right up into the supercharger. So, and I have the overhead GoPro too. I swapped the battery running now. So that's the biggest problem has been keeping batteries fresh on all the cameras and phones on this 2-day drive. Well, not 2 full days, but all in all, it's probably going to be around 19 hours for this
Two
of
full
driving.
days.
Yeah.
Two full days.
Yeah, well, you're including flying down to Florida. We didn't start driving until 2 o'clock
yeah.
yesterday, you know what I mean, in the
Yeah.
afternoon. We drove from 2 o'clock till
Yeah.
10 yesterday. And
Well,
then this morning,
that's 8 hours.
yeah, and then today we got up at 8. We left at 8.
It's
And,
12.
and right now it's 6 o'clock, and we're still
2 hours away.
yeah, like 130 miles from home. So it's going to be 19 to 20 hours of driving
Yeah.
for this 1,100 miles. But we also, we stopped quite a few times to charge more than we needed to, and also because
Right.
we let it follow the plan, the route planner, and also we stopped to make a bathroom break. So we could have, if we were in a race, we could have done this quicker, but this wasn't a race. It
wasn't a race.
Yeah,
no.
it was a leisurely
Yeah.
drive back, and so yeah, just making a few glitches. The only real serious issue so far has been like when it made the wrong turn. But again, that wasn't a safety issue. It wasn't like there's nothing so far yet where I've had to take over because we were going to have a problem. Nothing after almost
right.
1,000 miles. So now it's pulling into the Royal Farms. And let's see if it just drops us off in the front like it usually does, or if it takes us around to the superchargers. It did that one time really nicely.
Yeah. It looks like it's doing it
It looks
now.
like it's going to do it now. It looks like we're going to go right to the supercharger. So,
Now your destination is on the right.
yep, and the superchargers are on the right. So,
right
great.
here.
Yep,
Plug in and grab a bite.
yep. That's what it says. But it kept driving kind of beyond the superchargers, which is
Just
fine.
See if it backs in. Yeah, it's gonna.
No.
Oh.
It's off. So let's back into this last stall here. Plug in, and then we'll get a snack, and then be ready to make that final drive home, Disch.
Yep.
To
Good
Jersey.
job. Good
we'll
job.
be in Jersey
Tom.
soon. We're not far from New Jersey now. Once we leave here, we'll be over the border in 20 minutes, right? Or
Oh,
not
yeah.
even. Yeah.
I don't think even that far.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the update. Another little minor glitch, but nothing serious. It just got confused a little bit and took us down a dead-end street. All right, Disch. We're both pretty tired. We're 2 miles from my house. We've driven 1,116 miles. No, minus the 5 miles. 1,111 miles we've driven in your brand new car since 2 o'clock yesterday. Full self-driving aside, how do you like your car, your new Model Y?
It's amazing. It's so comfortable. I don't have a backache from the seats. The lighting situation at night is fantastic.
He loves the matrix lights where they shine on everything.
Beautiful. It's fantastic. The roof, I can look at the stars. It's a pretty car. It's got everything you need.
How about the ride? How quiet it is,
quiet,
and how smooth and quiet it is. Yeah.
And of course, I got to comment on the self-driving.
I was going to get to that.
It's unreal. It's unreal. It's the future.
It's the present, Disch.
It's the present, but we're in the future already.
Yeah.
It's great.
Now turn
It's unbelievable. You have to try it.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
that's the thing. You don't believe how good it is until you've tried it. I mean, we've just driven the last 20 hours. Well, we did stop to sleep in the middle, but about 20 hours of driving in the last day. And
pleasant drive.
Pleasant drive, and it's done everything. I made a couple of small mistakes, which I'll go over when I do a wrap up. But it drove the whole way from Florida to Chester now, all by itself.
And Tom and I are still talking to each other.
Yeah, which, Disch was a little worried about that because not all of our political beliefs are perfectly aligned. And that's fine because we can both discuss this stuff without getting mad and wanting to fight each other. So we actually had some good conversations on the way.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We did. It was great.
Yeah, it was good.
It was really good. And
in 500 feet,
I learned a lot of things about you, and I think you learned a lot of things about me.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we had it was a good trip.
And Tom, you're a good friend, and thank you so much for doing this for me.
Fox Chase Road.
It's really terrific of you. And
I'm glad I could help you, Disch. I really am.
I appreciate it so much.
I know it meant a lot to you to get the car, and I know that you didn't have a lot of options on getting it, and it was going to be very difficult with you going to Florida and somehow picking it up, and how do you get it back home? And this was such a new thing for you. How could somebody ask you to drive your first electric car? You've never plugged a car in before, and with self-driving features, seriously, from Florida to New Jersey. It just wasn't going to happen. You had to get help somewhere, and I'm happy I was able to squeeze this into my ridiculous schedule and actually come down and do this for you as we approach my house. And I'm just curious to see if it's going to pull my driveway correctly, and it won't. This happens all the time. It's making a left the side street before my house. My driveway was like 200 feet up, and watch, it's going to park right around here because my house is, you see the lights no, that's my neighbor's house, but my house is right on the other side of these trees. It thinks it's at my house, and now it's shut off. So that's another very minor mistake, and I've heard this before from another friend of mine. Just got a Model Y with FSD, and it would, when he put in his address, it would stop in front of like the house that's like 10 houses down the block from theirs. It got the numbers wrong, but I mean, that's something that's so minor, right. But for it only made a couple of mistakes. I'll go over all those when I do a summary, but for now, I'm going to get home, and Disch is going to get home, and I just wanted to get your final, thoughts on it and everything. So it sounds like you're happy with your purchase.
I'm very happy. I'm very happy with it. I'm looking forward to learning how to drive it now. I mean, Tom gave me a lot of lessons, but now I have to do it. I haven't actually driven it yet.
I drove the whole way. Now he's got to drive home.
Now
He
I
only
gotta
lives
drive
about
home.
4 miles from here, so it shouldn't be hard. And I offered to take him home and get back home, but he said no, he can do it.
No, I'm
so
gonna do it.
I think but he's not going to use FSD. He's actually going to drive it. We're just going to put it in drive and let him,
Drive the car
home.
like a regular car.
Well, it is a regular car.
Well, yeah, I know. I know.
Not for you, though. All right, listen, I'm going to do a wrap-up and a summary next. I'm going to get some sleep first, and then I'll go over this whole trip and offer my final thoughts coming up next. Disch, it's been a pleasure driving with you.
Thank you so much, and thanks for the audience for listening to us.
And good luck with the car. Hope you get, many years of good use out of it.
Thank you very much. Hello, Tom.
See you, Disch.
See ya.
Congratulations on the car.
Bye.
And there goes Disch driving down my driveway in his brand new 2025 Tesla Model Y. Disch made it home that evening without any issues. He's had the vehicle for a couple of days now, and he's loving it more and more every day. He's getting used to how to use FSD. He's got State of Charge Pete, who you might know from this channel, who also lives locally and owns 2 Teslas, tutoring him a little bit on setting up the infotainment system and going through all the settings in the infotainment system. Pete is a current Tesla owner. I've owned a couple of Teslas in the past, but I haven't in a couple of years, so I'm not really up to date on all the ins and outs of the infotainment system. Tesla keeps updating and changing that. So Pete offered to sit down with Disch on a couple of occasions and get them all set up in the vehicle. And I tell you, Disch is like a kid on Christmas morning. He is so happy with the vehicle. All right, getting back to the 1,100-mile drive from Orlando to northern New Jersey. As you could see, we had no catastrophic failures. There were no instances where I had to immediately take over, or we would have had an accident or some other sort of serious problem. The FSD did remarkably well on this drive. This is while it's not cross country, it's driving up most of the eastern coast and over 1,000 miles. Actually, it was a little over 1,100 miles. I think we finished up with like 1,105 miles or something like that on this drive here. And, I have to give FSD an A. I can't give it an A plus because it did make a few mistakes, which we'll talk about now, but it definitely earned a solid A. And it's remarkable how well that system has progressed. And in the last couple of years, it's gotten so much better, it's crazy. All right, so let's talk about a couple of the little glitches. First of all, I can't knock it for any of the parking lot errors, like in the beginning when it couldn't get out of Disch's private gated parking lot and it just kind of drove up against a fence and stopped. And, the interesting thing was the one time when it pulled into the wrong parking lot on our first charging stop. I found that really interesting because the navigation had it right. The blue line on the navigation screen had the proper path. The vehicle just decided to make a left 30 to 40 feet too soon and turn into the Shell parking lot. So let's take a quick look at that, the whole situation, that whole layout, and exactly what went wrong. Okay, so here's a screenshot from my time-lapse video while it was happening. You could see we are this little red triangle here, and to our left, there's an entrance into a parking lot, but that's not on the blue line. The blue line has us going a little bit farther and turning left into the Kingsland Visitors Services and Welcome Center. That's where the Tesla Supercharger is located, in the back of the parking lot. You can see by these red icons here. But what happened was, and as you can see over to on the left side of the screen, the Tesla turned left here, and that goes into the Shell parking lot. And then it drove behind the Shell parking lot and then just kind of parked in front of this abandoned building that, I don't know if it's part of Shell's property or another property, but there's this other building in the back there, and it just kind of just stopped and parked there. Now let's take an overhead view of Google Maps of this area. You can see right here, this is the Shell station, and next to it is the Kingsland Visitor Center. You could see where we pulled in here, and we were supposed to just go, as I said, another 40 or 50 feet farther and pull into that lot, go around the building, and the Tesla Superchargers are in the back. You could see all the way over here to the right, the Cracker Barrel. That's where we mentioned that we went to eat. While we were charging at the Tesla Supercharger, we walked over and had a meal at Cracker Barrel. But I just found it really interesting that the navigation system itself had the right path, but the Model Y didn't follow that. The FSD turned left, in conflict with what the navigation was showing that it should do. So I thought that was really interesting, that it didn't follow the navigation, and that's where its error was. And then the other problem that we encountered was in Newark, Delaware, when we were trying to pull into the Royal Farms parking lot that had the superchargers. The vehicle took what I don't think was the most direct route after we got off 95. But hey, that's fine. It can take whatever route it wants to as long as it can execute that route. In this case, it couldn't. The route that it chose was kind of to go past Royal Farms, make a right, make another right, make another right, go around the other side of Royal Farms, and then pull out and pull into the lot. When I believe it could have done it from that side street. But as I said, that would have been okay if it was able to do it. The problem, it wasn't able to. The first right that it made, it turned on a dead-end street. And it just kind of drove about 20 feet down the street. It looked like it was going to try to make some sort of a U-turn because we started pulling over to the right. The steering wheel started shaking back and forth. And then it kind of drove halfway across the street and just parked and shut off. So that time we had to take over and get back and manually drive to the Royal Farms. Actually, I didn't manually drive all the way. I just turned it around, got back out onto the main road, turned on FSD again, and then it was able to take us to the Royal Farms. But, there was a problem there where we had to intervene. It just chose a route that it couldn't execute. But those two issues were kind of like off highway and pulling into parking lots where superchargers were. While they were issues for sure, you'd rather not have either one of those problems. They weren't, driving on the highway where it made some sort of critical error. The two problems that we had that were actually on the highway were exits. The one time it wanted to take an exit, but there was construction on that exit. Well, there was a few construction vehicles, there were construction workers walking around with vests on and so forth, but there was plenty of room for us to get off and take that exit. And it had the blinker on for a while, like it wanted to go, it wanted to go, it wanted to go. Then it just decided, okay, maybe it's unsafe because there's workers there, there's construction vehicles, and it passed the exit. Now, I didn't even realize what was going on because at the time I had just turned the camera on and I was kind of focusing on straight ahead and not the navigation on that fact that we should have turned there. And I didn't even realize it until I looked back at the navigation and saw that all of a sudden now we were 10 miles from the charger. When I turned the camera on, we were 2 miles from the charger. So I realized it missed the exit. I had to go back and look at the film to see exactly what happened, and I realized that's what happened. Those construction vehicles, I guess, spooked the FSD, and they didn't want to get off on that exit, even though the exit was open, and they were on the shoulder of the exit, so there was plenty of room for us to execute that, but the vehicle just decided it didn't want to, and it blew past it. And we ended up at that point, actually the vehicle rerouted us to another supercharger because we were at a very high state of charge at that point. We had plenty of battery to get to the next route. That was the one problem. And then the other time when we were in the Easy Pass Express lane, the lane kind of split, and the lane that the FSD chose was the one to the left, which took us off the highway. And we didn't want to get off the highway. We wanted to stay on 95. Now, it wouldn't have been a huge problem, I don't think, because as you saw in that video, we pulled up to a traffic light. There was an intersection. And on the other side of the traffic light, I believe there was a ramp to get back out onto 95 straight across that intersection. The problem is that whole ramp was under construction. You couldn't drive over it. There were big construction cones across the whole front. And when we were sitting at the traffic light, the FSD was showing that that's where it was going. And that's why I shut it off and took over, because it was a really busy intersection. I didn't want it to begin to cross the intersection and stare at those cones and then like park in the middle of the intersection like it did when it got confused other times. So I probably could have tried it and seen what it did and how it reacted and how it got us out of there, or if it would have just stopped. But I thought it was more prudent to actually shut it off. And then Disch was looking at exactly where to get back on 94. We had to turn right, drive a little bit, and then turn left, and then we can get back out onto 95. So that was really the only time that I had to, or I felt like I had to, disengage FSD, take over, and get us back out on course. It may have been able to do it itself. I probably could have let it try, but I saw the way it was going, and it was going into a dead end, a construction area. That exit was completely under construction. So, I figured err on the side of caution, disengage it, get us back out and turn it back on. So that was it. That's it. That's the only problems it had. The only other thing that I'm going to ding it for at all was that one time when we were coming back out onto the highway, and unfortunately I don't have any of this on camera, but we cut off a black Jeep Cherokee. It was bad that we cut it off. It was enough where the guy drove around and gave us dirty looks, and we were just kind of like, yeah, I know, I'm sorry, it's we cut you off. I'm sorry, what are you going to do about that? But that was the only time on the whole trip, and we had to merge with vehicles quite often, that I felt like it acted inappropriately, like not how I would have acted. And when you think about that, that's amazing that we drove 1,100 miles. It was like 19 to 20 hours in the vehicle driving. And there's only one time where I felt like it, really didn't perform its merging task, or, it didn't interact with other vehicles properly. There were the other mistakes that we just mentioned where, it missed an exit and so forth. But as far as, interacting with other vehicles on the road, that was it. All of the other hundreds of interactions we had during this whole trip, in my opinion, were perfectly executed. So it's amazing to me. It really is. Now I know, the FSD is still a work in progress. It's supervised FSD. And as good as it is, it's really still only a level 2 autonomous vehicle. And there's 6 levels of autonomy. And the real reason why it's kind of stuck on level 2 is that it requires supervision. In order to get to level 3, the vehicle has to be able to perform these tasks, and the driver is allowed to not pay attention. Maybe not all the time, but at least some of the time, the driver can relax and, doesn't have to be focused on the road. And as you can see with FSD supervised, you have to be focused on the road, and it warns you quickly if you're not. You only get a few seconds of looking away before you start getting a lot of warnings, and then it'll disengage if you ignore the warnings, as you show in the video. That happened to me once. It wasn't my proudest moment, but it happened. There was a lot going on in the vehicle. This wasn't just a drive. I was trying to show Disch everything with the car. I had the cameras going and everything. No excuses, but I gave Disch a strike. I think that strike clears in 3.5 days if you don't get another strike. So I don't anticipate Disch getting many strikes. I think he's actually driving the car himself right now for the most part. He's going to ease himself into FSD. It's unsettling when you first use an ADAS system advanced as this. You've been driving your whole life. It's really hard to relinquish that steering wheel. You have to get used to it. So I'm sure it's going to take him a little time getting used to. All right, so that's pretty much what we have here for this video. But I have another video on this that I'm going to put out. Now, you may have noticed during the whole video, I had another camera attached to the panoramic glass roof, pointing forward. You didn't get to see that angle that often of just like the back of my head and Disch's head and the center display screen, which I know a lot of people like to see because you could see the route of the vehicle, and the other cars around it and everything. I recorded pretty much the whole trip, not the whole trip. I actually have 32 minutes shot at 30 times time lapse. So that's 960 minutes, which comes out to 16 hours of driving. Now, what happened to the other 3 hours? Well, on occasion, the batteries ran out, and I didn't swap them until or didn't recharge them or swap the phone until we got to the next stop. There was one time, I think a 45-minute drive, where I thought I hit record, but I guess I didn't, because when we got to the next stop, I looked at it, it never turned on. So out of the whole about 19-hour drive, I have 16 hours of video. And I'm gonna put a second video out of just that, in time lapse with no talking. I know some people are interested in that. I've had some of my followers say, please record the whole thing. I'd love to watch it. I don't want to include it in this video. This video is already long enough. It's like an hour and a half, I think, about where we're at. That would have pushed me over 2 hours. For those that are interested in watching that, that's going to follow up in just a couple of days. It's basically going to be me just introducing what it is, and then boom, you got a half an hour. You can watch pretty much the whole drive from Florida to here in 30 times speed, you know, and you know, if you want a half an hour to kill and you're really interested in FSD, the whole thing's right there. You can see everything that happened and you know, have at it. But as far as this video, that's pretty much what we have here today. I hope you learned a little bit about FSD. If you have any questions about this trip, please leave them in the comment section of this video. I try to answer as many comments or questions as I can, particularly immediately after the video launches. I can't keep following up on things like weeks and so after, because I have a lot of videos that I publish. I don't get to read all the comments, but when I first publish the video, I do try to read those comments and get back with you if you have any answers. And if this is your first time here at State of Charge, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming electric vehicle news and reviews. And as always, thanks for watching.